If you've been around watches long enough, you know the moment I'm talking about. That glance across the table, the question mid-conversation, hey, what is that on your wrist? For most of us, it's part of the fun. Watches are icebreakers, conversation starters, and little markers of our taste and personality. And while it's easy to assume you need to spend $5, $10, even $20,000 to own something unique and collector-worthy, today I want to show you why that isn't always the case. Enter the Martin Design Supernatural, a watch that, while I've reviewed before, it deserves another spotlight for what it represents in the larger conversation about collecting. This is a watch that stands out not because of a famous name on the dial or some century-old pedigree, but because it's bold, interesting, and unapologetically different, and it does so for under $600. That to me is something worth celebrating. I won't go deep into the specs because we've covered them before, but here's a quick rundown. The case is constructed of 316 stainless steel. The case measures 40 millimeters, is 46 millimeters from lug to lug. The thickness is around 12 millimeters, and between the lugs is 20 millimeters. It does feature a sapphire crystal. Water resistance is 50 meters, and it features the automatic Miyota 82S7. And the price to be exact is $543. What makes this watch instantly recognizable is the dial architecture. The off-center subdials for the time display with its concentric rings and crisp typography gives off clear vibes of F.P. Journe's language of design, however reimagined through a modern accessible lens. Let's be honest, the watch world can feel pretty exclusive. Patek, AP, F.P. Journe, these are the names that dominate conversations and set the bar for collectors worthy, quote unquote. But the reality is not everyone has $50,000 to drop on an independent or blue chip brand. And even if you do, there's still something exhilarating about finding a watch that stands out on design merit alone rather than brand cachet. That's exactly what this watch offers. It's a statement piece, not because it's trying to be flashy, but because it challenges conventional dial layouts and plays with form in a way that's uncommon for under $1,000. Fellow watch enthusiasts have noticed this on my wrist at meetups, and the reaction is always the same. Wait, what is that? Can I see it? It's the kind of curiosity you usually get when you're wearing an independent piece that costs 10 times as much. What makes this watch pop, visually and conceptually, are the use of colors from the dial, subdials, and the hands, not to mention the way you read the time. There's also an interesting industrial minimalism here. While the watch is complex in design, it's not cluttered. The fonts are clean, the finishing on the plates is sharp and modern, and the use of negative space allows the design to breathe. Is it derivative? Sure, if you squint, you'll see shades of Journe, maybe even hints of some modern H. Moser, but that's not a bad thing. Good design is iterative, and Martin Designs is taking inspiration and challenging it through the lens of accessible horology. Now inside is a Miyota 82S7, which is a no-date version of Miyota's automatic line. It's not hot horology, but it's a solid workhorse with a smooth sweep and decent power reserve around 42 hours. No, you're not getting in-house Geneva stripes or hand-finished components here, but you're getting reliability and ease of service, which for a watch like this is exactly what you want, and a bonus is the display caseback and custom rotor. At 40 millimeters, the case is near perfectly sized for modern tastes, especially on my 6 and 7/8 inch wrist. The lug design helps it sit flat, the thickness is restrained, and the overall wearability is excellent. Despite the visual intricacies of the dial, on the wrist it feels surprisingly discreet in profile. I will say the 50 meters of water resistance means this isn't your swim companion, but that's not the point. This is a conversation piece. What I love about this watch and why I'm revisiting it is because it exemplifies something I think we often forget in this hobby. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars to have something unique. As I said before, this watch costs less than $600. That's a fraction of the cost of anything from the big independent or legacy Swiss houses, and yet it scratches that itch for design-forward horology. It gives you something different, something that prompts questions, invites conversations, and keeps you engaged as a collector. Yes, there are things I tweak, the movement, maybe a slightly more refined bracelet option, added water resistance, and of course lume. But those would inevitably come with a higher price, and the beauty of this piece is that it gives you a slice of avant-garde design without financial strain. In a world where the word independent is often synonymous with expensive, the Martin Design Supernatural is a refreshing counterpoint. It's unique, accessible, and confident in its aesthetic. You don't have to own an FP Journe to appreciate off-center time displays. You don't need a Patek to enjoy thoughtful case architecture, and you certainly don't need a luxury budget to experience the joy of a watch that makes other collectors ask, "Hey, what are you wearing?" And that's the real magic here, because collecting isn't about price, it's about passion. And on that front, this watch delivers. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be safe out there and stay humble.